Hello everyone, welcome back to England's History. This I have been waiting for absolutely ages. The DEUS II, yes, absolutely buzzing. Got this from Regton's today. This is just going to be a little video, might be a longer video because we've got Gary Cook involved. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But we're going to go quick unboxing. We're not going to go through it in depth on the unboxing because there's probably about 1 million of them out already. Just show you what's in the box, and then we're going to get the controller, turn it on, have a look at some of the features and functions, and see what's new with the DEUS II. Right, let's have a quick look what's inside the box. User manual. Everything you need to know about the DEUS II is in there, plus all the extra accessories you can get, and that will be coming. The diving aerial antenna, which just clicks onto your coil, and there's an attachment so it clicks onto the back of your control box, goes up your stem, and you velcro it on. The only way, that's the trade-off, if you've got a completely wireless metal detector, because it's got to send a signal from the coil to the control box, you can't do that underwater. As soon as you go within 6 to 12 inches of water, it won't work. So the only way to do that is with an aerial antenna. The coil bolts, nice and simple. Everyone knows how to put a coil on. Arm cup strap, charging leads, charging plug. You get a plug with this machine. Some you don't. Another charging lead. Oh, we've got a lanyard that will connect to the control box, and then you've got your charging clip. Nice leather case for your control box. If you look on the back of this one, on the back of the new DEUS II, you've got a fit in there. So as you open it and you want to slide that out, make sure you don't force it over that. So just put your fingers in, push it out. Nice and simple. There is the bad boy. The DEUS II, fully submersible, down to 20 meters, maybe more. Still to be tested yet. Obviously me and Phil Frag, we'll be out there testing this diving as well as on land. So that's going to be interesting. We'll go through the menus and everything on that in a minute. There's the stem. Everything about that is the same as a DEUS virtually. These feel a little bit smaller. Gary's going to talk about this as well in a minute. They feel a little bit smaller, the clips. Fully telescopic, absolutely. The ergonomics of this is amazing, and it's as light as a feather. The only thing I can see which is new, which is the hand grip. But again, Gary will talk about that in a minute. This is just a quick box opening. And then we've got hard case for the headphones. And there's the new headphones, which we'll get Gary to talk about in a minute. Gary's going to do a lot of talking, don't worry about that. Right then, so I'll put this away now, put it all together. We've got the coil, I had the coil out earlier. Obviously I've already put that together, nice and simple. But yeah, there's the fast multi-frequency, and it goes from 4 kilohertz all the way up to 45 kilohertz. So with the new DEUS II, you don't need a HF coil. I think what they're going to bring out is you've got this, which is the 11-inch. You'll also have the 9-inch coil, and you'll have the 13-inch coil, I believe. But you won't need to buy our high frequency coils because these go, as I said, from 4 kilohertz all the way up to 45 kilohertz. And it looks exactly the same as the original black coils from the XP. The weight feels about the same as well. Very nice. While I'll set it all up and have a little play with the features and functions on the controller, because I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue about this yet, but we'll have a look at it in a minute. But I'll pass you over to Gary now, and he'll have a little talk to you while I suss all this out.
Hi, I've been asked to do a very short video on my first thoughts on the DEUS II. As many of you know, who know me, I've used XP machines from the very early days. I had an Aventis an ADX 150 Gold Max Power, Gold Max, and I had a DEUS literally probably nearly the first week it came out. So I'm XP through and through. So I don't do YouTube videos and things like that. As many of you, again, as I say, who knows me, they know that I don't do YouTube videos and all of that. I just love XP machines, and I have to admit my first thoughts on the DEUS II are pretty much, wow, this machine is something else. It really is. And I know you're going to say, I'm bound to say that because I've used XP and I'm a lover of XP machines. So yeah, of course I'm going to say it's a great machine, but it is a great machine. It's my honest opinion. I've been asked to do this and I can't wait to take it out in the fields. I've been exceptionally busy this week with work running up to Christmas. So I'm going to take her out tomorrow, which tomorrow being Sunday. I will be taking her out into the fields and giving her first run. But my first thoughts when I opened the box and having a look, you can see the differences straight away. The first one obviously is the remote. As you can see, it's a lot more sturdier, solid, and obviously it needs to be because it's now waterproof. And this is one thing that many of you I know wanted, and I did as well, was for the remote control to be waterproof, and it is now, to the point where you can actually go underwater with it and dive. So not that I do any of that myself, but that's a great feature. It's very similar setup to your original DEUS. The stem is exactly the same, with the difference being, I don't know if you can see it on here, but the grip is slightly different now. You have the ridges and it feels more comfortable in the hand, if it could be, but it is, believe it or not. The DEUS grip and stem is very good on the old shoulders, as you know, and this is no exception. They've not made any changes to that apart from what I can see on the grip handle. So there's that. The coil that I have is the 11-inch multi-frequency, which obviously stands for fast multi-frequency, I should say. I apologise. But as you can see, it's a standard looking XP 11-inch coil, but it's a multi-frequency. That's the one that I have. All right. And then the headphones, standard back phones as normal. Okay, WS6. As you can see, the screen is a lot more wider than the old back phones on the original DEUS. As you can see here, I do have one there. So you can see the subtle difference between there. There's more of a larger display, so you know it is a lot easier to read. One great thing I like is when you switch on the DEUS II, I will see if I can show it to you on camera. This is going to take a bit of editing, but when you first switch it on, it actually turns on the headphones as well, and vice versa. When you switch it off, your headphones automatically go off as well via the remote. Obviously, if you don't have the remote, in future versions with the light, I presume they're going to do one, you will have to press the on-off button on your headphones. But as you can see, and when you switch it off, the headphones even say goodnight to you. How clever is that? When you switch on the DEUS II, you can see on the screen you are presented with a choice of options on the headphones. Okay, I will obviously choose the wireless one, which is the first one there. So you press it, that then goes through the coil setup. One thing about this coil as well, it's got automatic pairing, which is new. So you can still manually pair a new coil if you want to. There is an option there, but it will pair automatically. So it will automatically find a new coil for you and pair it up, which is a great feature. You have the standard XP display, as you can see. There are 12 factory preset programs, and I think there's room for another 12 spare blocks for you to put your own customized programs into as well. There are a few differences with the DEUS II that you didn't have with the DEUS I. There is one thing which I quite like. For many of us, we all have a different band of hearing. All our hearing is different, and sometimes you can hear things differently to other people, and you're listening to the same thing, if that makes sense. I'm trying to make it sound quite easy for you, but there is an equalizer on here, which means that you can personally adjust the tones to your own personal hearing. So you can readjust certain levels within that tone to change the pitches and change the sounds to suit you personally. It's not going to improve your fines rate as such. It's not going to help you. It's not going to make the machine perform any better. It's personal hearing. Now, obviously, that might help you find something if you're not listening to a certain sound, and you can clear that sound up with the graphic equalizer. I know I'm rabbiting on, I always do, but I'm just trying to explain it to you like I always do in layman's terms. Basically, you can adjust the hearing to suit yourself on that one. All right, so that's a great feature. You've got the grab button there as well, which is something when you're ground balancing, you press that button, pump the coil. It's the same as the pumping that you had before, but you just press that button, pump the coil, and it will ground balance the ground for you. On the frequency section, you can press the button on the frequency, and it will scan for you, and it will find the clearest frequency, the freest frequency for you, which is fantastic, especially if you're at a rally and you've got lots of other machines around you. Because I personally, with the DEUS I, as many of you know, will wait until the horde disappears into the distance. I call them the zombie horde. I'll wait until the zombie horde disappears into the distance, metal detecting. I'll stand back, wait for I've got a clear gap, and then I will switch on my machine, and then I will go out into the field. I don't know, with this, it will actually scan around. So until you actually try it with a huge group of other detectorists around you, I can imagine that feature is going to be very, very good, because it will find a free space for you, a free frequency where you're not being interfered. And it will, as far as I know, that's how it works. As I say, I'm no expert. There are other people out there who I'm sure will explain it a lot more easier than me. But that's effectively, from what I can make out, is that the machine will actually find the frequency for you. So that's a fantastic feature. MI6, no problem whatsoever. I went through the normal procedure on the remote, options, pinpointer, paired it up within a few seconds, literally press and hold for 8 seconds as you usually do with the MI6. Job done. This machine, I can tell you now, XP have had the DEUS out for over 10 years. They've had 10 years working on a new machine, and like anything XP, they don't do it overnight. They don't rush into anything. They think about it. They know what they need to do. They listen to what people want. They listen to feedback. They listen to what people are telling them. And this is gonna, I really can't wait to get out tomorrow and test her on a few of my fields. And I've got no doubts in my mind at all. This machine is going to be fantastic. It's been well worth the wait. And as I say, it's XP. What do you expect? It's to use an old terminology, it's gonna blow your socks off, I think, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm rabbiting on as I always do, and a lot of you are saying, shut up, Cookie, get on with it, please, mate. So I'm going to shut up now and get on with it.
Well, I'm just having a look at what's inside the box. Now we want to have a quick look at what's going on with the features and functions on the control box, looking at the options and all the different programs. Let's have a look. Okay then, quick look at the controller. I'm not going to go into depth with it because I've only just got the machine, I've got to learn it myself. But as I learn it, I'll be telling you and giving you updates. I'll show you all the different settings, all the different features and functions, when to change them, why to change them, and how to change them. But that'll be in future videos. At the minute, we're just going to go a quick run through. You turn the controller on, headphones come on as well. And when you turn the controller off, the headphones will go off as well. But at the minute, I don't want you to hear all the beeps. It's the same as the old DEUS. See the on button there? Hold the plus and minus together to turn them off. Select which headphones you want to be using. Do you want to use the wireless headphones? Do you want to use the speaker on the controller? The bone conductor headphones, or your own headphones? Today we would be using the wireless headphones, so we select that one. The plus and minus buttons will take you through all the different programs, 14 different programs in all, absolutely loads. And you've also got 12 customizable programs that you can save as well, so up to 26 different programs. On the top of the screen you will see you've got the discrimination set in dark, and then it's all clear all the way across. Obviously that's where you've set your discrimination. Anything in the black zone will be an iron grunt, or to whatever tone you've set it, and then all the good targets that you want to dig will be past that in the clear zone. On the screen it's telling you now we're in fast 40, which is mono, single frequency. Let me try general. So general will be in multi-frequency mode, and we're in program 1, and that was the signal just popped up then from the coil 23. This is the upside down horseshoe, F for ferrous, NF for non-ferrous, and it's a depth meter as well. So as you get a signal, the closer you get, the darker it gets. That's right by the coil, and that's as it gets deeper. I like that, that's cool. So anything on the right is what you've not discriminated, anything on the left is what's discriminated. You've got the time, you've got your battery lives, and you've also got the ground identification, which is what it's saying the ground is, and the G set, which is what you've set the ground balance at. Then you've got 3 other buttons: ground balance, menu, options, and also you've got the pinpoint button. Tap it once, takes you into pinpoint mode. Hold your finger on it. It's a quick step to get into ground balance mode, so you can just do a quick ground grab. In the GB ground balance mode, tap that once, and you've got 3 different settings. Ground grab, turn it on to tracking, ground stabilizer. Ground stabilizer, the higher you have it, the more stable it is. The lower you have it, it's less stable, but more chance of getting the tricky targets, especially targets that are at depth. That's the ground balance. Menu. Right, the big square there is telling you what you're on. So at the minute you're on discrimination, take that down, take it up. You can also go into the expert mode and change all the different things in there. You've got your different tones. You can select tones and tone breaks, bottle caps, notch filter, silencer. Go back. Sensitivity. Sensitivity, obviously, you can turn it up and down, just with plus and minus buttons. Frequency shift, I can do manual, just by using the plus and minus button till I find a stable frequency, or I can just do a scan. That will now do a noise cancel for me. The thing that's different with the DEUS II compared to a lot of other machines is the noise cancel scan as such. It doesn't cancel out frequencies. So say if it runs from 4 to 45 and you was getting trouble on number 13 and number 26 from the EMI, it wouldn't eliminate them numbers. It would, instead of being on 13, instead of eliminating it, it would put it onto, it would do a frequency shift to like 13.65. So you're still getting the full band of multi-frequency, which is very good. And then we've got iron volume. That is just whatever you discriminated, that is the volume you've, in that discriminated area. You can have the iron volume really low or really high or medium. You just set that to suit how you want it. Reactivity. The lower the reactivity is better for the larger targets at depth, as long as there's not much contamination. The more contamination, the more reactivity you want. But the trade-off is the more reactivity you have, the less depth you'll get. That goes from 0 to 5. Audio response is the volume of the target. If you have your audio response at 0, you will get more information of the depth of target, but when the targets are at depth, it'd be harder to hear. So you turn that up. If you turn the audio response all the way up, every signal is going to sound the same, and you are going to get, some places you'll be able to do it and you'll be able to hear everything, but you'll also be able to hear all the little chirps in the ground, any interference, anything like that will all blast out. So it's all about setting that as a nice balance to suit. Let's go back to the discrimination a second. So you've got discrimination, go to expert, tones, expert, and this is where you can do all your changes with your tone pitch, which is at the minute, the iron tone is 202. And then you can also do the tone break where that tone breaks. So to go through that, you've got at the minute we're on tones, which is the pitch of the tone, push it and it goes to the tone breaks, and you can adjust. See the bar moving? So at the minute, if I left it like that, I would get an iron tone from 0 to 32, and then from 32 to 76 would be a mid tone, from 76 to 99 would be a high tone. You set that wherever you want to set it. Leave that for now. The good thing about the DEUS and the DEUS II is you can mess with all the settings as much as you want just to have a play, and when it doesn't automatically save it, so once you turn it off and turn it back on again, everything will be back to where it was. That's that. That's all of the features and functions. A quick walkthrough of the controller. Nice and simple. As I said, we will be going into depth on what everything does and how to use it and when to use it. But at the moment, that's just a quick walkthrough of what the controller's got on it. Right then,